Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abram. You know my partner Albert Kim. And Albert, there are some certainties in life, whether they say death, taxes, YSU, indoor track and field, they are champions.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Every time this time of year rolls around, we say Youngstown women and Youngstown men getting ready to grab a championship. The girls, well, they grabbed their sixth straight, and just dominating the closest competitor, Milwaukee, 211 to 124. We had some local girls really show up big time. Janae Bowers, we talked about her in high school. She ran the 60 and 7.3, 224.4. That tells you why they're good. Louisville native Morgan Cole also captured 2 titles in the 3K and was also 4 seconds better than second place at dominating. She also captured the 5K title.
Pretty good, huh?
Yeah, just when you're a double winner, that leads to your team being really good right away.
Let's talk about the place, the facility. I'm curious as to, we'll never know for sure. We have our thoughts because we do a radio show and they come over here and use the facility and they rave about, first of all, the facility, and secondly, how well they're treated over here. Well, this kind of stuff gets out.
Yeah, it does. And I don't think you can last this long dominating unless you have facilities, administration, coaching, and recruiting to get the athletes to make this work. And George named a lot of it right there. So that leads us to the men also, who won another Horizon Championship. That was their 7th straight and 8th overall. They won by 50 points also. Senior Sean Patterson, his career, we've talked about him being unbelievable. He grabbed both titles in the 1 mile and the 800-meter dash. He's a 5-year Horizon League champion.
This is the old COVID/portal/ almost anything goes thing.
Dominant.
I mean, I don't blame him.
What's interesting is he came in as a freshman and dominated.
Yeah.
Sometimes those older, more mature guys.
These guys, no,
he's just sensational. That's all. And so, congratulations to the men and women of YSU. Next year, this time, hopefully, we'll say, well, number 8 and number 7.
No, yeah. I mean, you win by 100 and win by 50. I mean, somebody better get busy.
Unless it's a dominating senior class, which doesn't seem to make a difference.
No, they seem spread out.
They come to year after year after year.
So-and-so's waiting his or her turn.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yep, no doubt about it. And the facility is second to none, no question about that. Talking about second to none, YSU women also carried on their championship run with clinching a share of the Horizon League title. Congratulations to Coach Barnes and the crew. A 61-54 victory over UIC did that. They tied for first, but they'll get the number 1-2 seed in the Horizon League tournament. I don't know what the reason for that is, George. Unless they lost twice
or something.
To both.
4-1-2-3, so it makes no difference.
Right.
The way it's structured, you got to have to beat that best team
somewhere,
and you don't play them to the end anyway. So it's whether you're playing the worst or the second worst until you get to the final.
So,
fourth and second, there's a difference.
Right.
Because you play first.
Good way to say it, George. We also had some great things happen in Bristol. They topped McDonald 48-33 in District 4 championship. That is their first district title in 25 years. That is the way you do it, girls. You don't look at the past. You don't live in the past. You say, this is our team, and we are going to win this championship. Congratulations to the Bristol. Also, congratulations to the Liberty. They topped Brookfield for the Division III district championship. This was their first title in the program's history. Now that's telling you something. Elijah Foster, 20 points and 20 rebounds. When I saw that, George, they had to see her in the grade school. That's what had to happen. They said, wait a minute, we have a championship coming here. I don't think you could hit her. I don't think you could hide her at Liberty with 20 points and 20 rebounds. That's how you win titles.
Those are old-time stats. Yeah. Those are back in the day, back-to-the-basket setter stats. Hey, let's say something, too, about this women's program. 3 girls in doubles. Malia Magistro from right across.
Right across the border here.
I mean, we knew she was going to help coming in because we always talk about this. If you can put the ball in the basket, and you know, I know coaches jargon, we play the 5 toughest, we play the charge taker. Guess what? If you can put the ball in the basket, as she can, and they have others, that's a tough team. And we knew when she came here she would make a difference.
She was,
and
she was always an offensive player.
Absolutely. But these girls, you say, that 2020, that's one of those Wilt Chamberlain / Bill Russell / you know, dominating. Because I watched Albert. I watched the NBA. There aren't 10 offensive rebounds among them because no one's in there.
Right. Yeah, and so she's a dominating force.
Absolutely.
Liberty goes to 23-1. They will play Wayndale in the Division III regional semifinals. I think that's where you separate the men from the boys, the women from the girls. When you get to the regional, you know that's one step away from state. I've had teams win sectionals of districts, and all of a sudden you get to regional. You're playing the big girls and the big boys. Let's see if they're ready for that. Salem girls basketball also won 41-34 in their District 2 district final. It was their Quakers' first also district champs for 18 years. You're seeing a little circle here of teams coming on strong that have not done this for a long, long time. Salem had balanced scoring from Abby Davidson and Riley Hutton and Cammie Rome. I think that's a good formula, George. We always talk about that moving further along.
41-34, that's an old-time playoff score. That's one of those back when we played.
Right.
Premium on the defense,
Before the
every
three-point rule,
possession matter. I mean, you don't see scores like that.
Nope, and there's a variety of ways you can win.
Yeah.
You know, we know that rebounding is important. We know offense is putting the ball in the basket is most important. But if you're struggling that night, defense does go with you on the road. Congratulations to Salem, Bristol, and Liberty moving on. Also, we had a coaching change in the area. Anthony Agresto is named the new coach at Sebring. I remember when he got hired at Valley Christian in the mid-2000s. And he fit everything they wanted to see in their interview. I think it's really important that the interview process hits on what you want in a coach. You know, just don't ask them about their X and O's if you're worried about the culture. Don't ask about the culture if you're worried about grades. You know, what do you want? And Sebring Athletic Director Brian Clark made that clear. Success in a lot of areas, not just
participation.
Winning.
You know, we 30 years ago, we took it for granted.
That's big
We
today,
said, well,
George.
everybody's got 40, 50 out. And we had 19 when you can't play with that. I've coached low-level football when I began teaching.
Right.
You can't practice with 19 guys. You got garbage cans out there and dummies.
Yes.
Albert, that's no way to coach football.
And he knew how to do it. And so you look at that.
Yeah. What's our mission?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a Christian school.
Yeah.
That
He
was.
figured it out.
Yeah, and I think their thinking is if he can do that at such a small place,
Right.
he can get 45 kids out here.
Yeah, and George really brought this up, and it's really key. There's a lot of schools that are used to having 60, 70, 50, are now getting 20 and 30 out.
Yes.
And you won't have to deal with the lower numbers, but you can't get below 20. You get below 20, you can't practice.
I saw a basketball game with 7. I went home, I called him, I said,
How do you play?
I can't believe it. I said, what, do they dress out the coaches?
They have to. They have to.
That's so bad.
Yeah, I know.
That's so bad.
So one of the things that in today's world, in the coaching realm, that you didn't have to worry about 25 years ago is getting kids out.
Yeah, remember, while I'm at it, that
Yes.
you young coaches still trying to show off. Get your players in there because that's how you get better. Your time is done. Get your players on that floor. I go in the gym. Remember Coach Karai's in there that day? We're watching that ball. These little girls, they're the ones that should be learning how to spike the ball and dig and this and that. I mean, we know
The
this.
coach was killing it.
Oh, he was smacking it. I'm sure part of it was they need to dig. I mean, the other part
that was what he was working on.
Yeah,
It's different.
but you know what he was doing. He was showing them how.
off,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
The point is, get your players in there.
Yeah.
Don't bring your buddies in from Armco, right?
Yeah.
We've seen it.
I have seen
We've seen it in a lot of places.
Yes.
But anyway, that's just another thing. Now, let me ask you this. When you're talking about Steubenville, the Big Red have been so good for so long. That job was probably tough.
Yeah,
Because he was getting third. Now, Altoona, finally, after 70 years, Guilfoyle now gets the players, and no one wants to play at Altoona.
Steubenville
They would
Central
be similar
was
to
once really good.
Okay.
State championship.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they had enough people in the town. Steubenville.
Well, once again,
that's what changed.
Socioeconomic?
Yeah.
No,
So you
good
don't
job.
have enough to go around anymore, right?
No,
That's what
you
happens.
nailed it. All right, let's talk about the big boys. Oh, I hate to start the conversation, but we have to. Baseball, what's synonymous? Money. Let's talk about it. They said that after Monday, they will have no choice but to shorten the season. I say bulldozers for two reasons. Number one, they can do anything they want.
Anything
They've
they
proven that. It's like in education. They go, boy, yeah, we can't. Your wife doesn't have that certification. About a week later, you're down in the office, and there's some lady teaching home ec and didn't graduate. Well, it was an emergency, and then you're like, oh, I get it now. I didn't get it at first, but you can only fool me once. These baseball guys, we can. How about they lock Manfred in a room, no change of clothes, one bathroom break, and we say, we'll unlock it when you have a decision.
That's a great idea, isn't it? That's a great idea.
Those gals settle.
Yeah. What's happening there is not much giving and a lot of taking. Both of them want the cake and eat it too. It's really hard when greed takes over, and that's what's in this baseball. They don't understand that the normal fan, and I was a fanatic.
No, he wasn't. No,
that
he's
if they
changed.
don't play for a month, they don't play for a month.
And let's talk
I'll
about
start rooting when they come back.
you know me. I don't care.
Right.
I'm good now till the NBA's over. I'll worry about it in June. Somehow I'll fill my July and I'll be
Right.
getting the football magazine. Al always goes on vacation. That's when I know we're getting ready for football. Al gets the magazine. Then I get one and we trade them and we say, okay, finally the king is back.
Yep.
But no, this business about missing, first of all, once again, you and I use the phrase millionaires and billionaires. I firmly believe it. I don't care. When the minimum salary is $800,000, I have trouble. Now, Scherzer's in that room. A couple other guys in that room making $300 million. They're in no rush.
Why wouldn't
They
they?
could sit back like this and just say, oh, but how about the dudes making the minimum? They have car payments, they have house payments, and they're not all rich.
Yeah, I still have trouble with that.
I
On the
know.
way over, my wife heard it, and she said, did they just say that the minimum guy makes $800,000?
Yes.
She said, what are they complaining about?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
remember,
Well,
she's not like
no,
us.
she
We
taught
talk about
school.
we
Yeah.
talk about sports.
Yeah, she taught school.
She's thinking they make $80,000.
Yeah,
Thinking that
100,000. I mean, he worked selling sporting goods in the winter.
Yes.
Remember in the old days?
they did then.
You'd go-
Because that surprised her. She says, wait a minute, I don't understand what the problem is.
Tell her, believe me, most of them make a whole
A
bunch
lot more, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So Monday, supposedly, by the time this airs,
What
we
you
should
thinking,
know-
George? What do you think?
I think they're going to lose games. I really do.
I do believe they will not start a week after. You know, I truly believe if they don't settle, it'll be a month. That's what I
so
do
there's
think.
no. Oh,
I don't think there's a-
I get it.
Yeah.
In other words, they're either going to settle or it's going to miss 30 games.
That's what I think.
They're not going to miss 8 games.
No, that's what I think.
Yeah, boy, that's interesting. I don't talk about that. The commissioner is a clown. He's not a leader. Put it that way. You can see by Mad Dog Russo how far he has his nose up his rear end. It's just obscene. I mean, blaming the player. Players are all greedy. The owners are making. Are there any teams for sale? I'll leave it. I always ask.
It's both ways.
I always ask. If it's such a bad deal, why are the Pirates worth $2 billion? The guy bought them for what, $40 million? Let's talk about luxury tax is one of the main things. We knew that. Amount of players in the minors, I don't quite understand that one. They've already been taken to court for paying them under minimum wage.
Yeah, I have to admit, I've read, I've listened, and I still can't. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
They're talking jargon that I don't.
Well, the
I
third
don't
one's
grasp.
the big one, and you do understand it because you've become a victim of it as a Pirate fan. How long they quote-unquote control their players. That's the big thing. The players want more freedom. The little guys are saying, we don't have a chance now. If you only give me Cole for 4 years instead of 5,
Right.
I have zero chance.
But I don't understand behind it. I don't want to go. What are they talking about? It's way past me, George. I don't grasp the lawyer talk. I don't grasp and I don't grasp the money talk. I just grasp playing.
Just want
I
them
don't,
to
I
play.
don't, I don't understand.
Yeah, you want them to play.
That's what that's.
And
So
we
it's,
come
so
from
it's
a
way
time,
past me.
Yeah, our time every Sunday was a doubleheader, a scheduled one.
Was, yes.
We didn't. We knew. We should go from Altoona. It was 2.5 hours.
Right.
Well, we'd pick when we could see two
games at a
We
once.
we didn't always stay, you know. But the bottom line was we wanted to see baseball.
Right.
You know, and this thing now, you know right now.
And at that time, don't forget, baseball was king.
Yeah, and there's 8 teams that can
Baseball's
win.
not king now.
I said
It's not king now.
somebody the other day, you need to ask the older people. Horse racing and boxing were once
Big time.
big time. Now they've gone the way of the dinosaur,
Right.
and I think baseball's headed. It's not there yet,
It's heading that way, though.
but they're headed that way.
is really
But see,
is.
now the big markets, no, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the teams with all Phillies with all kinds of money, they're thriving because they're cable deals.
Yeah, one of the things, as I said, I'm trying to listen and read. I was shocked to see that baseball's still the second most lucrative sport going.
Oh, yeah.
Way ahead of the NBA. And they said the NBA contract's coming up, and that's what they're going to use as one of their selling points. Wait,
Leverage.
how could baseball
Right.
make way more money than us? And so,
Oh, yeah.
it must be the TV. Must be the TV. George, I don't
and,
know.
and even the stadiums are 3 times the size. The smallest Wrigley Field is 40,000. The biggest arena is 17.
Right.
You know, and once again, it's not like the the NCAA where they play in stadiums. They don't even use arenas.
Right.
So we'll talk about that. The NBA. Now I don't know. I got to either get this Harden diet or the Harden something, because he can look like a fat load for 2 months. He can change unis. He comes out, he's Superman. Did you see the 2 games?
Pete, you know I ain't watching NBA.
But I want to tell you, I mean,
I know what-
28,
I can tell you, I know what he's
17,
gonna
and
do.
12.
But he always has those stats.
You know, but Embiid
understand?
is scoring 2.
Well, that's who he's with. I mean, that's why I don't watch it.
There's
you,
other.
you think there might be a chance?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
That Philadelphia might win.
They went right into Minnesota yesterday. The
when
Knicks.
you put Harden
No.
and Embiid together.
And you know what? There are a couple other complimentary players there.
Well, they're all good pros, but
Yeah.
when you put 2 of the top 7 players in the league.
I thought
on the
there might
same
be a
team.
ball shortage.
I never thought with 2.
no.
It's with the 3.
Yeah,
That's
right-
where the
right
problem
now
is.
they have nothing.
When 3 get on the floor, George,
Yeah.
and that's what happened in Brooklyn. There was no chance for it to work. You have to have 2.
No. Well, they got 2 now.
Yeah, you can make it with 2.
Yeah, because you
And
know.
that's why they look better.
And
No,
yeah.
you'll see Brooklyn get so much better.
I do too.
No.
And you know what? Another thing about Simmons, he doesn't want to shoot.
Right.
You know who's going to help him? You're going to think I lost my mind. Like I said, I watched first time ever. I only bet $10, but I do watch.
Yeah, that's the reason you watch. I know.
But Drummond.
He's a rebounder.
Yeah, in other words, you can't not like a guy getting 14
Yeah, he wants to
bounds.
rebound. That's
And he'll
what he
dunk
does.
4 of them.
That's what he rebounds. That's what he does.
Yeah, so they got.
On a rotten team, he's rotten. On a good
No,
team,
he's no
perfect.
help. No.
On a good team,
That's
he's
like it.
perfect.
In my prayers, I want Draymond Green to go to Oklahoma City just for a month.
So he finally allows it.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that a
They're talking
little
about
bit.
him in the Hall of Fame. That just makes me jealous.
No.
Joke.
You know what happens too, though?
Joke.
Here's what happens. Remember hearing the old saying about perception becomes reality?
Uh-huh.
Well, enough people say it. Next thing you know, he's up in that thing, and you're like, wait a minute. I thought the same about Rodman. I thought he was the most overrated thing ever. The Lakers, I watched last night. I'm pronouncing them right now. On this day, I pronounce the Lakers dead.
Davis isn't playing, is he?
No.
Well, that's why.
No. He'll be back, though.
No, and if he does come back, don't
Yep.
think they're dead.
Well,
Now,
I'm saying they're dead.
Now, if he comes back, they're still dangerous.
Oh my gosh! You know what they did? I don't know if LeBron got in their ear or Mrs. Rambus or who. They had complimentary players. Remember Baldy Regan? He would fall on the floor. The dude from Texas Tech. He would get 4 or 5 rebounds, and the spot up shot. Oh my goodness! They look like the medals.
But he wanted a contract, though. So that's
Oh,
what
no.
I'm saying.
Yeah, there can't be any money left.
Yeah, that's the problem. They're complimentary players.
Kuzma.
They're complimentary players wanting money.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so now we can't pay them when we pay
No, you can't
all
pay
these guys money.
these idiots all that money. No, that's like even Philly. I think that the third or fourth guy there has a max, so you know what the kind of money's being paid.
Well, that's the same thing happened to the Lakers. You cannot win with 3 of them on the floor. I believe you can't do it in the pros. When all 3 of them want the ball, you can't win.
So what I did,
when Westbrook went there,
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Yeah, I stayed up last night and watched. I'm feeling sorry for him. I don't know if the man has lost his confidence
No, he's not.
Or
He's
there's
never,
a side injury. Oh, well. Albert, he had 7 turnovers before
He's always
he
turned the ball
assist.
over, though.
Not 7.
But he had the ball in
Not
his hand.
7-0.
He had the ball in his hand all the
Not
time.
7. It's not. Not 7-0.
He doesn't have the ball in his hand,
I
so he's
mean-
going to play lousy.
Oh, my.
You think LeBron's going to tell him they'll give him this?
No.
I don't want the ball. I don't want the
No,
ball.
LeBron. No, you know what he did last night? He stayed in a 25-point loss to get his points to catch Kareem.
Think so?
No other reason. He's never. Why is he in down 24 in the fourth? No, he's in there doing the old Humphrey Bogart banging into
He
people.
does that well. He does that well.
And the thing was, they're down 25 on their home floor.
Mm-hmm.
He had no but he did. Now, here's one I didn't understand. Warriors are just, you know how they play. They get in that little groove and are throwing 26-1 run by Luka Doncic. You would think Steph would stop that bleeding, but he couldn't.
Yeah, if he's not making a couple.
No,
shots,
1 for 7 in the
They
fourth
don't score
quarter.
close to the basket. So that's what happens.
No. There might as well be like a moat there.
And they don't have a plan B.
No, no.
They're going to keep firing. If they happen to go, that's the only way that could happen.
And then he drove a few times. He likes that one-hand waiter shot.
Does really well with
Yeah,
it.
he missed about 3 of them last night down the stretch. The playoffs in the NBA, usually the West is much better. I'm thinking this year it's going to be pretty balanced because you got about 5 teams, and that's not mentioning the Bulls or Miami, who are actually in top.
In the East, you mean?
Yeah. Normally we think West.
Yeah, I got you. They are pretty balanced.
Yeah.
There's no question about it.
Let's talk NFL. This is the big week. We've talked about this. We've studied it. We've even talked to coaches over there. We have a buddy who's an agent that goes every year. This is Combine week. There is no off season. These guys take about 3 weeks between June, July, and summer camp, and that's about it. If not, they're doing free agents. They're doing whatever. They have a list right now, guaranteed. I'd like to sneak in that board and just take some photographs and see just how these teams do it because they're all working at it very hard. These players, will they be poked now? Probed, X-rayed, whatever they call it when they put you in the tube.
Yep.
Yeah, MRI'd.
They'll be taking care of
Tell them you know about it. There are people that actually,
Yeah.
if you have a bad we'll go see how your shoulder is.
Yeah, they know when you were hurt when you're 9 years old.
Yeah.
And they're going to say,
Yep.
well, I heard you had your ankle
Yep.
broken night. We want to take a look at it. 350 guys said they're not going this year. No, 155, excuse me. Said they're not going to the combine. They're boycotting.
Waiting for their.
They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. So, so it's a changed world.
Remember they asked the one guy if his mom was a hooker.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever.
Questions.
Yeah, that was way out of line.
Yeah, they're not. They're not.
Let's talk about how many, once again, hey, you could fall asleep for 10 years. You say, well, Steelers need linemen. We know that. Browns need another receiver. We know that. But what do teams need? They need quarterbacks. And they're looking, is so-and-so better than, because if you make a mistake, you live with it.
Yes, and it's the hardest position to play in sports. And if you have a good one, you win. If you don't, you struggle to try to get to the top. They're always looking for the quarterbacks in the draft. This draft is not top-heavy with quarterbacks. This is the first time I can remember in a while that all the linemen are going to be taken in front of them. And
Where's the first guy? Pickett at Denver,
I'd
8?
say 8th or 9th, yeah.
Are you thinking Rodgers may go to Denver? Or you think he's just patting
I think
himself?
he's patting himself in the back.
Oh,
I do.
now see what he wants now, $50 million.
And that's a mistake. That's
You can't.
because Adams on the same team.
Well, he's
You
done
can't pay
that.
both of them. That's what I'm saying.
No.
So yeah, he should be saying right now, take care of Adams, then take care of me. Instead, that's never a thought in their mind. Take care of me, and then we'll see what happens everywhere else.
No, if you ever looked up the word narcissism,
You got it.
narcissism is him.
Yeah, he got it
Now, the
before.
new league starting, let me ask you. All the games are in Birmingham in year one. I mean, talk about a football-loving town.
Right.
There's a start. But do you think it's possible that if they come to the realization, we've spoken about this before, if they realize they're a minor league and stay such, no Donald Trump saying sue the league, no other guy really wanting to use it to get into the NFL, if they use it as a NFL Europe without the travel, we need a left tackle. Hey, let's fly down to Birmingham. That big guy from UAB's playing. Okay, can they make it?
I'm going to ask you a question coming back at that, because I think it's all revolved around money again.
Money and TV.
What money are they going to use to make it work? That's the key.
Yeah, they have to
Is
get
TV going to care about it?
Now, let me ask you this. What happens if there's no baseball the next couple months and they could get that thing on and get a line on it? You know what that is? That's the deal, right?
Yeah. It's all a money thing. If they can make money and stay afloat,
Yeah.
if they can't
They
make
want
the
to
money,
use home floor.
because remember, they have to pay the players.
And don't forget, next year, Pittsburgh.
That's what always happens in those games. I mean, the players get told we can't pay you for 2 weeks.
When they start running to the bank Tuesday morning with the check, then you know the league's in trouble.
So that's why
No.
can they pay?
No.
If they can pay. If they have enough money,
Yeah.
billionaires taking care of that.
Okay.
Then they can make it.
Rock's in charge of the league.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock. Baseball strike could give them a boost. Let's talk NCAA football. We got about 3-4 minutes. Now, I thought you were wrong. And when you told me this, I thought, well, maybe he heard it wrong. 51 quarterbacks in the portal that have started games.
Yeah, there's 51 starters out there, and we're going to find out who lands them, but also important who doesn't get landed. And they'll be playing for the YSUs of the world and Northern Iowa. They'll be going Division 1 AA and Division 2. That's a lot, George, 51. And they're all looking for quarterbacks. Let's see how many of them sign and play. And these were starters.
And
these weren't just scrubs.
And you and I have talked about this. The YSU coach realized it also.
I like he did.
You need it to survive. If you close your doors and say, we're not taking anybody's junk, you'll be the junk in 3 years.
Yeah, that's the struggle. It really is. As Clemson's not signing many of them, we're going to see if they have a drop-off.
No,
you know,
no, and I said I saw something the other day about Georgia. You know, guy said, they've got to go in there, no question. He said, but they lost now. They've got a lot back on one side of the ball, but boy, did they lose a lot.
See if he get the portal. We'll see if the portal fits in there.
And we talked to the Vandy coach before, and he said he just can't use
They
it.
can't do it.
No, Stanford,
their standards
Vandy
are so high.
Might be the end of
there's education being taught.
what was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Tough time for coaches.
Very difficult time for coaches.
Man, if you missed the guy, hey, why you get him? Why didn't you get him? He was there.
Yeah, very difficult time for coaches.
Let's talk NCAA hoops. March Madness around the corner. The little teams. I was thinking something on the way over here today. If your team plays early this week, you're probably getting fired.
Right. Yeah.
I hate to say it,
Yeah.
but if you're Central Connecticut, you're getting dumped.
Yeah, they're looking at W's. They want to see what your team's winning.
Yeah.
That's what they want to see. I don't care what they say about everything else. The coaches get fired based on wins and losses.
How about the Saturday, 6 or 7 of the top guys?
That was March Madness already.
Imagine if that was football. It would have been chaos.
Yeah.
The other day, a guy says, well, what about it? He said, the standings, the guy said, how could they change? They all lost.
Right. March Madness was in full view in February.
You don't lose in the home.
6 or 7. That's amazing. That's amazing.
I saw I must say I thought they'd lose, but you knew Zags are going to have at least a problem at St. Mary's.
Right.
The line's only 10. I mean, only. Kentucky's on the road at Arkansas. Auburn's on the road at
Well, those
Tennessee.
games were great games, but the one that stood out is Arizona got thumped.
Yes.
No, thumped by Colorado. And
Yes.
Colorado.
Where'd that come
They
from?
were playing so bad. I don't understand.
Where'd that
I don't know.
come-
No
Now,
one saw it coming.
Arizona Tuesday, they're at Southern Cal. They better forget it quickly.
They will.
They'll
They
get a
will.
double bubble.
That's one about college sports. That last one, they just move right on to basketball. They just go keep playing.
And really, with a minute left, the toughest tournament's the mids because you could go 22-3, have
Stay
a
home.
hiccup, and guess what?
You
They're
stay
not
home.
taking 2 out of your league.
Yeah, you
like
stay home.
YSU's league, you better win it.
You have to. There's no chance of it.
You better win it.
No question about that.
Hey, real quick, under 30 seconds, Aikman, they're all over Aikman. He's going to sign a contract. They offered the dude for the Rams $40 million for 4 years, and he's only
Of all the
30.
things in the sports world today, that's the one that flummoxed me. Because I never, in the history of my
I'm
sports
going to
career,
watch. 'Cause
I've never said, okay, Aikman's not on the game tonight. I'm not watching. So I don't understand that at all. Maybe we could talk about that another day.
And I
don't care. You don't even listen.
I don't listen, so I can
what I'm saying.
second that emotion.
I don't get it.
All right. Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. We'll see you next week.